Right, day 4 update. We've recorded some more content. We've done 25 videos. Not perfect, but we don't want them to be perfect. We want to be complete. So took 5 to 10 minutes, not even that, 5 minutes tops. Batch produced them, and that gives me a little bit of leeway, a bit of a buffer, in order to be able to post them when it comes round to it, rather than having to constantly run out of content and then I gotta constantly go back to the drawing board, go back to the recording, go back to the editing. So we're kind of front loading. About page, we've got that, but it's a little heavy, so we're gonna make it lean. I'm gonna cut through, keep the most important parts for what the customer, so the small businesses and the potential people who are feeling overwhelmed, want transcendence. They're my clientele, so they need to know, or they want to know the most relevant things to them, how I can help them, and what my values are. So we're gonna chop that a little bit, cut it back. I have uploaded today, so 5 posts. There's always that dilemma where you post and you always want it to be perfect. You want it to be viral, but that's never gonna happen. I'm focusing on the runway. I've got 90 days, I've got an opportunity that most people don't have. Most people call up, they've got no energy, they've got no time, they don't have the resources, they've got dependence, they don't have the environment, so I've got all that. So I'm focusing on consistency. Even if my content is 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 daily, if I'm posting in bulk, then it's gonna feed the algorithm and target the right people. That's my thinking anyway, so that's what we're going for. And even if you produce so much, it makes the ones that are not successful, they seem like outliers, okay? If you say enough stuff, then I trust myself. I know most of what I produce is good. But if I were to say one thing in this life, if I just said one thing and if I just had one thing to say, it wouldn't be the best. Does that make sense? Like with scale, your general mindset comes across, right? I hope that makes sense. I don't know. So with volume, it lures in the right people, and I can help the right people. That's the thinking. So we'll check back in 90 days. It's been, half an hour. I've had 1 like on 1 account. But I know the algorithm is learning what content, what it's about. I know it tests it by giving it to 50 to 200 people. That could be the complete wrong clientele. I did buy a VPN today, so I'm targeting UK, being an English speaker, English native, and it just makes sense to me rather than targeting Vietnamese people that wouldn't, half of them, 3/4 of them wouldn't even understand it and it'd be skipped straight away. One thing I noticed on my professional content, the quality looks poor. I think the lighting was not the best because it was getting later in the day. So all these little things are data points for me, for the algorithm, but also for me. So I know, okay, if I'm recording, I need to be in the right lighting. I need to be recording at the right time of day. I need to think about backdrop, but don't overthink about it. Same with posting, don't overthink about it. Volume, consistency, setting. I always have technical difficulties. That's, as I said in one of my other videos, there's gonna be technology problems and there's gonna be problems with people that I work with, which people call human resource. I don't like that term at all. But they're the things that it's hard to schedule time for, because you can always run into technical problems or issues that are going to hold you back so much. And so you got to look past the problem, test it, try it. If you're having problems, move past. You know, like when you're at school, they'd always say, if you're struggling with a question, move on to the next. Same principle, just different context. So that's what we need to navigate. One of the challenges. I'm happy with myself for consistently uploading. This is my 5th piece of content, day 4. I've cleared some memory on my phone. I realized there's kind of I'm incentivized to upload quality content. Like I've got a top of the range phone, I can do recording 4K, 8K, 20 times zoom, but every time I do the extra functionalities, I realize the extent of how much more memory it takes up. So do I want to find balance? Probably find balance. Obviously I want to test and stretch the capabilities of my phone. I want to deliver high quality content that's leading, but A, it's a phone at the end of the day that I'm recording on. B, it takes up mass memory. I've got like 2 terabytes in Google Drive, I believe, but it's that transitioning from my phone to there, knowing what's on the cloud and what's stored on my phone. So yeah, that's like an admin, a whole admin day, which I'm gonna save for Sundays. Them sort of challenges we'll tackle on them days. In terms of content, as I say, I've got 45 pieces of content now. I'd say they are I'd say there's 7 out of 10 pieces of content. I don't have the best hooks. I think that's my problem, but it's hard on informative content to have the best hooks, you know. I can't be like, here's this $1 million product that saved me all the time in the world. I can't be like, I've just found out the most scary thing, you know what I mean? It's just informative content. I also need a semi-formal tone, even on my brand account, because if I am doing consulting, which is my aim, then with it all being connected, they will see that. So I can't be too absurd, satirical, mockery. I can't do the full extent of that because it needs to be moderated so I can work in the creative and more public domain, but also the professional consulting domain. So one thing I got to consider. There's not actually too many different aspects of this. At the moment, it's just content driven. I think shortly I want to sort the website. That's one of the focuses, which now I've batched more content. I'm trying to make the most of where I am because I'm by this beautiful lake. Vietnam is a really good example of a place that's the infrastructure's harmonious with nature. I've not seen many places that have as developed infrastructure, beautiful architecture, integrated with an appreciation for the beauty of the natural world and historic and ancient monuments and the theology and the culture and the past, the very patriotic. It's a beautiful, beautiful culture, I'll be honest. And so I want to make the most of that while I'm here. I did shoot some B-roll footage earlier while I was walking around the lake. There's about millions of coffee shops, which I'm taking advantage of. I'm in a coffee shop right now. So as I'm walking around the lake, shooting B-roll footage, there was no sunset, which the only negative about Hanoi is there's a lot of smog. You can see the air pollution is very grey. And that's one of the disadvantages, because outside of that, beautiful place. I don't think I've seen the sun once since I've been here. Well, you can't have everything, can you? So I'm making the most of the environment I'm in. I have this accommodation until mid-month, and after that I'm planning to go Da Nang. I need to be cognizant of my finances. I have money in crypto a little bit that I want to transfer out. I have money stored in other places that I didn't ideally want to use, but it's there and it can be used and it's accessible in a couple of days, namely my ISAs. So I've got to make the most of the position I'm in because I won't ever have an opportunity like this again. So this is why I'm able to optimize my mindset, have a really good morning routine, because I don't have other things occupying my mind, such as a job, such as kids, such as this, that, the other, assets, a car, whatever, all this mental junk. I have pure time to compartmentalize the things that will drive me forward and be consistent, including this, including the 5 social channels, including shooting B-roll just while I'm out and about, including optimizing my beliefs, my mindset, recording my wins, looking at the longevity of this, how I'm gonna scale, how I wanna be motivated even when I'm in a new environment, how I'm gonna not be influenced by outside forces, how I'm gonna stay strong-minded, strong-willed, and how I'm gonna stay committed. So I know there's no consistency in the length of these videos so far for various reasons, but we'll find a middle ground. As I say, data I get from the viewership, I get from the engagement. Okay, a 20-minute video got such and such views, a 7-minute video got this amount of views. Okay, let's lean that way. I'm very good at reading the signals, so you only get signals from output. So we're gonna keep moving. That's all it is. Everything in life is a marathon, not a sprint. Especially the topic that I'm talking about, which is sustainability. Like, there's nothing, it's clues in the name, right? So daily action, consistency, and let's just check back in 3 months, 6 months, 3 years, 6 years, 12 years, and we'll see. Hopefully I'll be grateful to my current self, but only time will tell. I'm gonna end the video on some sort of mic drop, but you know what? I'll just see you in the next one. It's tomorrow anyway, so yeah, over and out.